Hey there and welcome to the Totally First Crochet channel. My name is Thomas and in this video I'm going to show you how I block my crochet pieces to give them a super refined and perfect look. So in the previous video I showed you how to make this beautiful solid granny square, and now for the purpose of making those, because I want to make myself a beautiful crochet bag, all I need to do now is to give this the perfect square shape and to flatten everything out, and for that I'm using my blocking mat. So up until last year I thought like blocking was a mystery basically something that I never thought I would really need, but whenever it comes to making clothes or bags or things where you would need like straight out fabric, it's a miracle basically, and I don't want to miss it. So back then I went to Amazon and just searched for blocking mats, and there are plenty. There's so many, and it was hard to choose from. So the one I got came in a very nice bag, and in there are blocking mats, and they have the lines there, and they're made of foam, of plastic basically, which is fine. It wasn't expensive. I think it was like just 25 euros or something like this. You can put them all together like a puzzle to have like one giant thing to place your crochet work on top of it. And there are also some needles, so you can place your crochet work like very accurately onto the grid and have it flat out on it. And then last Christmas my boyfriend actually gifted me a steamer. This was also new to me. I watched some videos about blocking and some people use the steamer. So I was like, maybe that's easier, because there are two ways of doing it. You can make your crochet work wet and then lay it out on the blocking mat, or you just keep it as is and then use the water steamer to heaten it up, and then it flats out automatically basically. So this is what I use as well, and I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. So if you want to get yourself a blocking mat on Amazon or a steamer, you don't have to use one, but a blocking mat never hurts, because you will see the difference is immense. Your work gets a much more refined look. It's all flat, it's all straight, and it's perfect to continue working your crochet work, the granny squares, whatever, into bags, into clothes, into cardigans, pieces, blankets, everything that has to be flat. So here we go. This is video number 2 of this series. So this is less a tutorial, more like a vlog or showing you how I do things. It's not the perfect way, of course. I'm pretty sure there are pros out there who have better techniques or whatever, but this is just how I do it. Maybe it's an inspiration for you to start blocking your crochet work as well. So let's get ready to block this. But before we do, as always, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes and videos, and to watch the old ones if you want to. Leave me a comment, because I like to get to know you, and I'd like to get to know what you think of what I do. Thank you. So here we go, part 2 of our series, and this was our solid granny square that we did in the first episode. And as you can see, let me just show you one with the same color so it's a bit easier. And let's do it like this. This is the granny square, how it looks when you just finished crocheting it. This one here is the blocked one. As you can see, the corners are very sharp. Everything looks flat out and it's all symmetrical. And for the one that we just finished, it's just a bit more rounded, more, I don't know, organic, I would call that. It's a bit wonky here and there. So it just needs this extra bit of refinement. And for that, I'm using a blocking mat. So the good thing about this blocking mat is actually that it has like this grid on top of it. So you can always then see where you are and find the perfect size. And this also helps when you have multiple pieces. Like, I mean, I do have like all those different squares now. So you want to make them all the same size, etc. So the grid always helps. It looks a bit rough already because later on with the steamer, I didn't thought about it actually, and I was just steaming over them. And then my boyfriend was saying that, doesn't it hurt the plastic? And I was like, I don't know. And I looked for it and I was like, okay, it might be a bit difficult with the heat, but so be it. So there are actually two ways on how you can use the blocking mats or how you can block your crochet work. Option one would be to gently make your crochet piece wet. Just get a spray bottle with water and just spray it wet, or just put it into water basically and squish it out, and then block your crochet piece in when it's still wet. This would be one option, but I always thought it was like a little bit, I don't know, a little bit messy because you have to do things wet, and I thought it was just a bit too complicated. And then you would flat it out and block it, and then usually I left it for a day or two or put it out in the sun and things like that, and it works perfectly fine, and it looks exactly the same as I would do it now with the steamer. But I think the steamer is much more convenient and much more faster, and you don't have to like put it aside for too long. You just steam later on over it and you're good to go. So this is definitely my recommended method when it comes to blocking. And now we are going to take the needles. Those were included into the blocking mat system that I got from Amazon, and it has like those little, I don't know, this handy parts here where you can hold them so you don't, because they're actually quite could be dangerous actually. They're not, they look much more harmless than they are. And the way I do it is that I usually start in the center by placing the center directly onto the grid, just like this. Then I take another needle and just go to the next corner. It's right here, and just place it there. And then take the one on the opposite side. And I know it looks a bit weird now because you feel like, oh God, is he stretching it out too much? But trust me, this is all going to be fine. I mean, it's still cotton, it's still yarn, so it always goes a bit back and it moves a little bit, so that's completely fine. Then I'm going to take the next corner space, put it in there, and then the last corner space. And once you leave it to rest a little bit, you will see how like the fabric and the yarn then moves and stretches out. And I mean, who doesn't love a good stretch, right? And the good thing about the solid granny square and this kind of blocking mat where you see the grid is that you can also see the grid through those holes here. So you also see that your work is completely straight, like from one edge to from one corner to the other, and same here. So you can basically leave it as as if at some point this part here wouldn't be straight, you can always adjust the center. So you get like this perfectly straight lines. And of course, in the end, a perfectly solid granny square. So I had to readjust the camera a little bit to easily use the steamer. And of course, you can place needles right here and there to make it even more blocked. But to be honest, for this granny square, I think it's totally fine to have it just this way. So now I'm good to go with the steamer. If someone would see me right now, it looks pretty weird how I do it here. But this is now how I do it. It makes this funny noise. And then I'm just going to go over it as if it's a shirt, basically. And I'm always going from the center right to the corner. And you can see that it's flattening out quite nicely. And of course, you can always then drag on it a little bit. So don't be shy. It's really just yarn. And you just flat it out. This is also when I told you that I won't do any more needles here. I mean, of course, you could. It won't hurt, definitely. And then you would put like another one here, or here, or here. So it's absolutely up to you. It really depends. For the other ones, I did it the same way, because those corners then later on will go back with the material or with the yarn. So that's absolutely fine. So usually I make 2 rounds and block it out. And that was basically it. I usually let it like rest a little bit on the blocking mat, just to give it some time to relax. I can always then drag it a little bit, just to get like all those different stitches a bit out. So we just let it rest for a few minutes, and then I'm going to put it out and show you how it looks like. So the time has come. 5 minutes are over. This is how it looks like. And you can still always stretch it out a little bit. But we can now already take out our needles. And as you can see, the yarn automatically goes back into a almost perfect square. It's quite fascinating all the time for me, to be honest. And that last one goes out, and as you can see, it looks just phenomenal. Very even, very pretty, and it also gets a bit flatter. And this was the blocking. just checking if the blocking mat is still okay, but it is, luckily, otherwise I would have to get myself another one. And as you can see, they all have the same size, which is important, of course, if you want to make yourself a bag. And don't worry if like some parts are still a bit not 100% straight. It's still moving a bit. It's a natural product, so there will always be a little bit of movement here and there, which is normal. This is why we love yarn. But then again, you have like all the different squares and things, and they all look the same. They have the same size, and they are just so pretty. I am obsessed. I can't wait to assemble them all to one extra pretty bag. And just take a look at how gorgeous this looks. Those are all that I made for the bag. So in case you're crocheting with me to make our bag in the end, this is actually the amount of solid granny squares that you would need for continuing this crochet series. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 squares. Wow. I'm quite impressed myself, but it looks so pretty. I mean, those colors, I mean, I'm in awe of this bag already. So if you're as excited as myself to see how I transformed this into a super beautiful crochet bag, so stay with me, watch out for episode 3 of this little series, and I'll show you exactly how to connect all the different solid granny squares together. So have fun, enjoy making those 15 solid granny squares, and I'll see you next time only at the Totally Fierce Crochet channel, when we then make our beautiful crochet bag. See you!